Let's monitor it. Is that
Now we move to the next item of the program, and it's to welcome and to introduce. But this time we're going to do because in many years we are not going to be having enough time to introduce everybody that is here. Maybe I should start by introducing to us an organization that has come for this meeting. The organizers of this meeting. Can you help me make it work? Or I talk with that mic. I can present my voice very well. Let's continue. I need to introduce the organizers of this program, the World Breastfeeding. And the name of the organization is a non-government organization, non-profit making organization. And then it's maternal and child resource breastfeeding called MATRI. And we put that together for this organization. And permit me to introduce you, though she's trying to fix some things at the back, the convener of this meeting, and also the president. Of this NGO, MATRI. She's by name Professor Mrs. Beatrice Olukola. She is the immediate past HOD of the Department of Human Resources Dietetics, Faculty of Medical Sciences, of the College of Sciences, and the University in Italy. I think you are going to approach. We have other members of this organization are going to be introducing in no particular order. We have dietitian PK Alago in the house. We also have, I'm going to be using, maybe I should be using the title advocate, because the organization is majorly about advocating for breastfeeding. So let me now use that title for dietitian. She's a dietitian. She's also an advocate for breastfeeding, for healthy nutrition. So advocate PK Alago, you're welcome. And I also want to introduce to us another advocate Oyebanke. She's a member of the Maternal and Child Resource. You're welcome. Then I go to advocate Teresa, you're most welcome. And I go to advocate Sheol Ajayi. Then also, okay, maybe she just left some minutes ago. Okay, she's at the back there. Advocate BR Fogola, she's at the back there. I'm using the word advocate. These people have been introducing, some of them are lecturers in our department, they are part of this organization. So I'm also a member, advocate Omikule, that's my name. I'm also a member of the department of nutrition and dietetics. So everybody is welcome. Let me say this thing about Macri. If you look at our banner there, at our stand there, the roll-up banner, you are going to see the motto of this organization, which speaks volume about the organization. Who has taken note of that motto of the organization that we put there? Did anybody take notice of that? Paving way for sustainable future. Paving way, Mark is about paving way for a sustainable future. And that future lies in the hand of all of us who are healthcare professionals. Though we may be under training now, but one day when we start practicing, we should be able to build a support system around this. You know, the children, they need to be well fed, they need to be given their dues. I don't want to talk about that now. In the course of the training, we are going to be doing that. We move to the next item on the program, and that is, so everybody is welcome. I don't know if Mr. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Oshodino wants to, I want to, it's not new to you, but I need to introduce him. We need also to appreciate him for the role he has played to ensure that this meeting holds here today. So Mr. Oshodino, thank you very much, sir. God bless you. Thank you for the support that Macri has received from the organization. So we move to the next item, and that is the opening speech on World Breastfeeding Week 2025. And I'm going to be inviting to the microphone Advocate Teresa to take that step. Let's look at together steps forward.
Good morning, everybody. So, thank you very much, sir. I would like to welcome us once again to the World Breastfeeding Week 2025. Right. So, my work here this morning is to actually introduce us to what World Breastfeeding Week means, or what it is, or what it stands for. So, World Breastfeeding Week, we call it WBW, right? Is a global campaign to raise awareness and galvanize action on themes related to breastfeeding, right? And for us at Macri, we know that this centers around our mission or our goal as an organization. So, how did we start, or how did WBW start in the first place? So, I'll read as we have it on the WABA page. World Breastfeeding Week is celebrated every first week of August in the year. That's from 1st to 7th of August. And it is in commemoration of the 1990 Innocenti Declaration. WBW started in 1992, so it's not starting last year. It didn't start this year or 5 years ago, so it's not something new. And I believe this, a lot of us are not even as old as 1992 babies. So this has been something that's been ongoing before we were born or were given birth to. So we started it in 1992 with annual themes including healthcare systems, women and work, the International Code of Marketing of Breastfeeding. In fact, anything you can relate breastfeeding to, right? And then since 2016, WBW is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, right? And in 2018, a World Health Assembly resolution endorsed WBW as an important breastfeeding promotion strategy. So when was it endorsed again? I'm hearing 2 years. When was it endorsed again? 2018, right? And by which organization, which group endorsed it? So I will take that again. So I said earlier that since 2016, WBW is aligned with the SDG goals, right? And I said in 2018, a World Health Assembly resolution endorsed WBW as an important breastfeeding promotion strategy. So it's been around since 1992, right? But it was endorsed as an important breastfeeding promotion strategy. So I will appreciate if you can have one hand out from the right here. I so if you have something to say, you can actually take the mic as well. Or do you have a question? So what are the objectives of this whole thing? Or why are we here or why are we gathered here in the first place? So we have four objectives as we have on the WABA what's it called page. The first one is to inform, right? When we talk about information, we are talking about we as a celebrant or participant of this program, right? We want to inform us about the selected theme for that year, right? And I know our speaker earlier stated or mentioned the what's it called now? The theme for this particular year. I believe some of us that are writing, we have already noted that down. I'll still go over that as well. So the next objective of this outreach or this event is actually to anchor, and that's what we are doing. The team within the global breastfeeding agenda, that's what we are doing here. And then to engage with individuals and organizations for greater impact. And that's why we are in Seventh Day Adventist institution right now. So as to engage you, because we know you are the one that fronts or you are the one that interacts with these women, or that will end up interacting with these women who are breastfeeding, that will end up interacting with their support system, their husbands, their mother-in-laws. When the mother-in-law comes to the hospital and have their, their traditional way of breastfeeding, what they can do, what they should not do. They have 10 rules they give it to the mother. But you, as an advocate of breastfeeding, you already have what is the right thing, and as a learned person, right? So that's why we are doing this outreach, so that we are also able to engage you, so that you also can engage those people who are not here, who are not seated here, who may not have opportunity to be seated here. Thank you. And so the last objective is to galvanize. That's to galvanize action on the selected theme and related issues. And our speakers will do justice to that when they come to the podium to speak. Now, for this year 2025, our theme is to prioritize. If you have written it before, you can just read after me. Prioritize breastfeeding, right? Create sustainable support systems. The professional body will stress this. By the time our speakers start speaking, they will put what's it called? They will stress this. And for us here at Macri, we have two major topics here today that will address all that I've said earlier. The first one is to debunk cultural myths around breastfeeding. How many of us believe that there are a lot of myths that is going on? There are a lot of ideas, opinions that people have about breastfeeding that is not even okay at all, or that has been going on even before we were born as well. So that will be addressed as part of the topics. And the next one will be to talk about the community health workers as breastfeeding allies. And that's why we are here. You are community health workers, you are nurses, right? Huge stories, success cases from rural outreaches and programs. And that's the essence of our program was, and what we are going to do today. So that being said, right, I welcome you once again to the World Breastfeeding Week 2025, and I believe you have better understanding of what we are doing here, and you will greatly participate. And also, at the end of the day, be an advocate of breastfeeding. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Advocate. As I've been kindly introduced, Advocate Oyibanke, and without further ado, we would like to acknowledge the presence of some of our staff members that are around. If you are mentioning anything, we can wave and acknowledge your presence from wherever you are. Mr. How is the pronunciation? Mr. Oswald Zion.
for your commitment. On behalf of the provost of the two colleges, on behalf of the registrar of the two colleges, we want to appreciate the organizers of the program once again. Thank you for considering our institution here as a place whereby these important and wonderful programs will actually be organized. And we want to appreciate the students. For those that were just being informed, I was, the College of Nursing, they were just informed this morning, and they are here in their numbers. We want to appreciate you. God will continue to grant your effort with huge success. I want us to know that attending seminars like this are buffers for our endeavors. It is part of the learning process. When you are being asked, when you get out there and you are being asked, have you attended any seminars before? Do you have any certification programs you have actually attended before? Programs like these are beautiful programs we can actually present in giving such information. I would like to recognize the presence of the HOD of Community Health in person. Also here, and also want to appreciate Doctor, my researcher lecturer for the College of Nursing. He's also here with us. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you once again. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. And we'll be moving on to introduction of MACRIP, which will be taken by Advocate Oluwaseun. Please let's welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so as I've been introduced, my name is Ajayi Oluwaseun. So I know we've been talking about MACRIP, so I want to give us a more extensive view on what MACRIP is about. So the name MACRIP is Maternal and Child Initiative on Breastfeeding. So we are, as been said earlier, we are a non-profit organization, and we are a network for breastfeeding mothers and breastfeeding program. And so it was this program, this NGO was launched in Obafemi Awolowo University in 2016 under the name Action for Promotion of Breastfeeding in Nigeria, APPIN. And we started with 5 members. And as of now, some of the key functions in which we do in MACRIP is we provide support for mothers, we provide sustainable and local international network for mothers also. Now, our main goal in MACRIP is to reduce malnutrition in under 5. So it's a target for MACRIP all around Nigeria that we do as much as possible in supporting mothers to reduce malnutrition. Now, some of our key objectives are promoting exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months for all mothers, educating prenatal women about during their first appointment about the values and benefits of breastfeeding, also providing breastfeeding support and classes. Now, areas in which we as MACRIP areas in which we connect, we network with hospitals, maternity centers, community health centers, like there are community health centers and religious places. Also trade unions, different trade unions, we go out there to connect with people of various backgrounds so as for them to get more informed and knowledgeable about it. Now, the activities that we do here in MACRIP, we do intervention programs, we provide educational materials. We have some of our educational materials at our stand here. Once the program is done, you can check them out. They are quite insightful. Also, we do dramas, we do sketches, and as we are here now, we also celebrate the Breastfeeding Week every year. Now, qualities to becoming an advocate for MACRIB. The minimum qualification is having at least a secondary school living certificate. Also, people of every discipline, it doesn't matter your background, you are you are able to join MACRIB, yeah. And also, if you have passion to impact the community. Now, the benefits of becoming a member of MACRIB. First thing is we get you informed with knowledge about breastfeeding in depth, and also we expose you to nutritional intervention skills during our intervention programs, and you get to learn to use the ICT network skills to communicate about health issues, learn to write proposals. In fact, that's something I'm personally learning as of now. So you learn to write proposals, script writing, and also you develop your public speaking ability. Thank you so much.
Communicate better. Yes, thank you. So we're going to be moving on to the very first lecture of the seminar, and this will be taken by Advocate Alagbo, and the topic myths versus science, debunking cultural myths around breastfeeding. So please let's give her a warm welcome as she comes onto the podium to deliver a lecture.
I want to say good morning to every one of us, and we're happy to see you beautifully seated and well dressed for this occasion. And to the members of staff, I welcome you also, and we are glad you are here. I really wish that everything that we gain here, we wouldn't just leave them in our notebooks, but we will go out there to impart our world, to have this conversation with people and ensure that we improve the rate of breastfeeding in Nigeria. A few minutes before me that I have to speak to you, I want to talk about number one slide, the main page. Yes, definitions, facts, myths about breastfeeding is what we want to talk about. Of course, one way or the other, we've heard about breastfeeding before. I'm sure everybody here knows that the breast produces milk. Yes or yes? That's good. So, and of course, this milk produced by the breast is used to feed who? Sorry, I can hear us. We use it to feed babies, to nourish them. So we will talk about what breastfeeding is. I will discuss briefly some of the facts that probably we know, and also I'll be talking about some myths that you have heard of, you have been listening to, you believe it. We're going to be debunking them this morning. So, by way of definition, breastfeeding, or what we say nursing a baby, is a process by which human breast milk is fed to an infant. And also, breast milk can be directly from the breast or something that we express in the cup to feed a baby. We can express the milk or use a breast pump. I'm sure some of us have seen a breast pump before. Now, when we say exclusive breastfeeding, it's a term that we should get familiar with because we'll be discussing it with our patients and people that will come around with in the community. Okay, we will release the slides to you after the program, so you don't need to screenshot or snap it. We'll release them to you, but you can listen and take notes of anything you would like to write. Exclusive breastfeeding means that an infant receives only breast milk. What did I say, everyone? Only breast milk from his or mother, from a mother, right? Or expressed milk. And no other liquid, no solid, no concoction, no soya milk. Yes, nothing else. Only medications that are being prescribed by the physician. So we don't say, oh, the baby is so beautiful, let's give water with breast milk. That is not exclusive breastfeeding. Now, prelactal feeding. It could be new to us, but let me break it down. When we say prelactal feeding, it's defined as administration of any substance other than breast milk to newborn babies during the first 3 days of birth. At that time, the temptation is really, really high to pity the baby, pity in quotes, and say, let's give water. I don't think this breast milk is enough. Let's just give this glucose and water and all those things that we do. Prof is going to talk about things like that. So first 3 days after birth, giving any other thing, administering another thing aside breast milk, it's called prelactal feeding. And it's a major public health issue. It's really, really affecting the rate of exclusive breastfeeding, something which we should look into. The next slide. When we say mixed milk feeding, by the word mixed, putting two things together, it means it's a practice of feeding formula and also giving animal milk or even any other thing aside from the breast milk in the first 6 months of life. We give breast milk and we also shake some bottles for them. That is mixed feeding. And when we say mixed feeding, of course we know there are some of the formulas that are being mixed or packaged in tins for children, or milk that are even designed for toddlers, given to infants at less than 6 months. It's called mixed feeding. And the WHO Global Strategy for Infants and Young Child Feeding recommends that we breastfeed till 2 years and beyond. Exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life. We continue breastfeeding with complementary food after 6 months. And we breastfeed for how many months? 24 to 36 months. That's 2 to 3 years. It's funny, right? Yes, but that's the fun. We should breastfeed our babies, our toddlers, until they are 24 months. That's 2 years, until 3 years. It's possible. Is it not possible? If you have lost children here before, let me see your hands up. I know some people. Yeah, you had 1 or 2 children. Did you breastfeed for 2 years? Did you breastfeed them for 2 years? Even those ones that have not even given birth are saying yes. We should. I did. For all of them. 2 solid years. You know they're key. But we're investing really in their future health. Next slide. Okay. Yeah. Hello, can we have a house? Just one house. Thank you. Benefits of breastfeeding is numerous. We've heard about it, but let's brush through it. Number 1, it contains all nutrients the baby needs. Even water that is needed for the baby is in the breast milk. It protects against respiratory and other GIT infections. That's why when you see that you breastfeed your baby very well, exclusively, you will not have hospital visits or admission. So it's good breast milk. It's an investment into the child's health. Let's go to the next slide. We'll give them the slide so they can run through it. Now let's go to the fact about breastfeeding. I want us to listen very well because you are the trainers now. to go and train other people. We are doing training the trainers this morning. Fact about breastfeeding. In the first few days after birth, the breast produces something we call colostrum. Have you seen colostrum before? What does it look like? It looks like 3 crown thick milk, isn't it? Or even thicker. Is it pus? It is what? And it is milk. It's food. It's like giving somebody antibiotics or something to improve or withstand against common infection. So we don't want to jeopardize colostrum. It's very important that it's provided to the newborn. It's nutrient-rich milk. It's full of calcium, proteins, minerals, antibodies that the baby needs in the first few days of life. Gone are the days when people will say, "Awayawa," pardon me for speaking Yoruba. Say, hey, no. We are now in a better world. We have understanding. Number 2, breast milk is amazingly adaptable. If a mother or the baby is sick, the number of antibodies and white blood cells in the breast milk increase to fight off infection. God is great, is powerful in designing breast milk. Imagine a baby comes down with flu, sneezing, and coughing. Naturally, the breast milk will increase in those compounds I mentioned in antibodies. It's a natural vaccine and it's a natural drug for our babies. Now, the body is constantly making the perfect milk for the baby. You don't need to worry. Once you feed well, a mother feeds well. Are we listening? Some people are not listening. So the body is constantly making a perfect milk for the baby. You don't need to worry about adding anything to it. However, the milk changes its nutritional profile as baby grows. As the baby grows, the milk also starts to change to fit in for the present developmental stage. Milk can even change day to day. The day that the weather is really hot and you are putting the baby, let's give you water to quench this thirst. The breast is saying, you don't need to worry, I'm doing my job well. And that is why you see the water content increases in the breast milk to quench the thirst and satisfy the baby. The next slide. The breast size has nothing to do with the amount of milk. I hear people say that. Your breast is very big, your baby is enjoying. Says who? The breast size has nothing to do with the amount of milk that you produce. Some mothers have a larger storage capacity, but all mothers produce about the same amount of milk at one time. On our occasion, you shall do. Everything is perfect by God. Also, breast milk makes babies sleepy. Because of what I highlighted there, serotonin is produced in the breast milk at night. And the baby takes and dozes off. Pleasant sleep. I'm not saying we should be looking for breast milk for sedative drug. It doesn't work for you, it's for the babies. Diet can change the smell and taste of your breast milk, which helps you get your baby familiar with flavors. If you eat garlic, your baby will also taste the garlic. So later in life, when the baby is introduced to complementary food, the baby should be able to pick. Even in utero, when they have not given birth to them, they pick flavors of our food. Next slide. Okay. Breastfeeding burns a ton of calories. So if you're trying to lose weight after dropping your baby, giving birth, then you think of breastfeeding to lose some weight via burning calories. Breastfeeding makes your brain happy. While you're breastfeeding, your brain releases prolactin and oxytocin, and those are feel-good hormones that make you feel good and really happy. And with that, you bond with your baby, you smile to your baby, you feel the need to love more and all of that. People who breastfeed are less likely to get breast cancer. It's a fact, I didn't say that. Research has shown it over the years. Now, parents who successfully breastfeed are less likely to be diagnosed with postpartum depression because of those good hormones I mentioned earlier. When the baby is going through growth spouts, she will want to nurse more frequently. We know that. They want to suck really, they want to empty the breast at once because of that growth. So your breast will take the hint and will increase the fat content. You know, fat is filling. For 1 gram of carbohydrate food will give you 4 calories, kilocalories. But fat will give you 9 kilocalories to satisfy the child, to make the child get fuller, have enough energy and balance, and even have reserve. The breast milk will increase the fat content. Next slide. Breast milk is filled with special components that help to fight infection and cut down on swelling in the breast. So if your breasts are sore first few days, the massage it. We're going to be talking about that in the next presentation. Next slide. Now let's go about the myths. Some things that we say, some things that probably we have been ignorantly propagating that are really wrong. They are myths. Let's start. We have 14 of them. Breastfeeding is easy. First myth. Breastfeeding is hard work. It is not easy as people say it, but if you know how to do it, it is easy. So breastfeeding takes time and practice for both mothers and baby. So when you see somebody give birth in the world, provide support. Not that, no, they need your support. We need you to support them. We need you to encourage them. We need you to give them thumbs up. Okay, it's usual for breastfeeding to hurt, that's people say. But if proper latching is done, attaching the baby to breast properly, Prof is going to teach us that, there will be reasons to have sore nipples. You should wash your nipples before breastfeeding. No, it is a myth. We will read up, our time is running. Next slide. You should separate a newborn and mother to let the baby mother rest. No. We are going to show a video today on what it looks like, rooming in and all of that. We shouldn't separate a newborn, an healthy newborn. After score 9/10, why do we need to separate that baby from the mother? Until the baby breastfeeds, we keep the baby with the mom. Let them enjoy their warmth. Also, you should only eat plain food while breastfeeding. Because you are breastfeeding, you are not a criminal. The patients are not criminal. Let them enjoy the food they have been eating when they are pregnant. We can always increase, the fluid because we want breastfeeding to come, but not give them plain pap. They are not criminals and they did not offend God by giving birth. Let's ensure they eat properly. Okay? Exercise will affect the taste of your milk. It's a myth, it's not true. It doesn't affect it. It even keeps you more healthy. And let the body process one properly. You won't be able to breastfeed unless you do it straight away. It's a myth. Sometimes the baby is coming down with probably distress after giving birth. You want to rescue the baby. After the baby is balanced, you bring the baby back to the mother. And that does not mean that the mother will not breastfeed. So it's a myth that, once you don't breastfeed, for first 10 minutes of birth, you let formula, those things are not true. Also, you can never use formula if you want to breastfeed. We're not going to talk about that because we are advocating for breastfeeding, but the physicians know what to do if it comes to that. Many mothers can't produce enough breast milk. People will say almost all mothers produce the amount of milk for their babies. That's the right thing. They'll say, oh your tummy, see the baby is crying. Oh yo, the breast milk cannot be enough. Those things are not right. It's because we're not doing it the right way. God has made it perfect. Mother is feeding well. Healthy mother should be able to breastfeed and produce the right amount of breast milk. If we all here, nurses and community health workers, do the right thing in supporting them, if we are trained, we can help them to achieve breastfeeding and do that well. You shouldn't breastfeed if you are sick. It's a myth. It's depending on the illness. The physicians know what to do. Somebody is having catarrh and having flu. Take the baby far away. No, these things are not totally correct. You can't take any medication if you are breastfeeding. Of course, in the leaflet of all medications or prescriptions sold in the counter or probably prescribed drugs, you see leaflet inside. Some will say don't breastfeed, but there are other components in another alternative of drug that can be provided. So it's not all medications that a mother can take that is breastfeeding, And also, even if they are going to be given, there's sometimes you take like 2 hours before you breastfeed and all of that. So it's good to stick to a physician's prescription. Babies who have been breastfed are clingy. Yes, I hear that a lot in the community. It does not mean the baby will be clingy. The baby will be clingy. Let's breastfeed our babies. It's hard to win a baby if you breastfeed for more than a year. It's blatant lie. My own experience, I breastfed for 2 years. No episode, nothing. We just, wave ourselves goodbye on the platform of breastfeeding, and everybody is normal. Yes. So don't believe, or don't let us propagate that the baby will be clingy and all of that. Or the baby will, my difficult let's do the right way. You can dare me, try it for 2 years. If you go back to work, you will have to win your baby. No. I think 2 years ago we were discussing about the environment, our work environment, support for mothers that are working. I think 2 years ago we had that discussion on the World Breastfeeding Week. Our environment can help us to also breastfeed. A mother is resuming to work. A mother can express. It is not easy, but you are investing in the health of that child. It's an investment that you will reap in the future. So it's better to do the right thing. Thank you very much for having me. I hope you learned something today.
Thank you, Ma Advocate Alago. I've learned, and I'm sure before we came here, we had some either cultural or religious myths that we had at the back of our mind. By the way, before I continue, please, if you have any questions, please write them down. And if you feel you just want to ask verbally, no problem. We'll gather that at the end of each lecture. But I would like to ask, is there any, out of all the myths or facts that was presented to us, is there any particular one that was exactly new to us or we've heard before but we didn't exactly understand? Just trying to, as you've learned from us, we also want to learn from you. Is there any that you feel is very rampant in maybe your society or something you just heard before that was not mentioned? Any myth, either cultural or religious myths about breastfeeding? Any at all? I'm sure we have. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, can we listen? All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Breast milk. Breast, yeah, winning. Sir? Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that, sir. So not to waste so much of our time. One else, please. We'll be moving on to the second lecture that will be delivered by Professor Ogumba. Topic: Community health workers as breastfeeding allies. Field stories, success cases from rural outreach programs. Thank you very much, and please welcome her with a warm round of applause.
Good morning, everybody. I'm excited to be here this morning, and I want to thank first the provost of the College of the Seventh-day Adventist College of Health Sciences and Technology for giving us this opportunity. Please help me to celebrate the provost. And I also want to thank the provost of the College of Nursing for allowing the student of nursing to be here. Also, I want to acknowledge the presence of the HOD Community Health, Mr. Ogunjobi, and all staff of the college. I want to appreciate you, and also Mr. Oshojina, I want to say thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to be here. Please celebrate them. Students of School of Nursing, celebrate yourself. And students of STA College of Health, celebrate yourself. Let me start with this story. In 1999, I had my first child, and 2 weeks, I realized my baby was not growing. So I went to, because for us intellectuals, knowledge can kill you sometimes. So I went to the best pediatrician in Obafemi University Teaching Hospital, and I said, sir, my son is not growing. He looked at me and he made a list. Maybe he has a heart problem. Maybe he's having lung problem. In fact, for a first time mother, it was emotional for me. I started crying. And he gave me a lot of lists of tests that I need to do. I started doing the tests. They were choking my boy, collecting blood. When they want to collect, I will cry. But the last day, I was to do the heart, to check the heart of the baby, whether he has a hole in his heart. It was too emotional for me. I was just in the hospital praying to God, God, please don't let my son have a hole in the heart. And this pediatrician working, she's currently the Vice Chancellor of UNIMED, Professor Adejuibe. And she said, Madam, what's the problem? I don't think you have any problem. I think the only problem you have is that you don't know how to breastfeed. And I was like, Madam, I'm here for heart check. He said, just check. After that, come back to me. So I went back to her. Because everything was perfect with my son. I went back to her and she said, okay, just follow me. She took me to her office, she unbuttoned my shirt, she taught me how to latch. In 2 weeks, my baby grew. Everything changed. And I was like, how many first-time mothers are going through this kind of emotions? Then I will be the voice for every mother that is having an issue with breastfeeding, to teach them the right thing to do. Most of the time we think breastfeeding will just come easily. We just pick the baby at the breast and the baby will start sucking and everything will find. It's a lie. It's a skill that both mother and child we have to learn. So if you don't know how to do it, all kinds of problems will erupt. And who's going to teach us? Who taught me? A pediatrician. And why am I here today? Because you are the first person the mothers will meet in the hospital. And if you don't have this knowledge, then there will be a lot of problem. And it's going to be a very interesting thing for me that everybody here will be able to go out and support a breastfeeding mother. And before we know it, we will reduce the stunting rate in Nigeria. The stunting rate in Nigeria is 40%, telling you that out of 10 children in Nigeria, 4 of them are stunted. And when it comes to stunting, intellectual capacity is gone. That is to say, 4 Nigerians will not be able to contribute to development in Nigeria because they are stunted, or because their mothers cannot breastfeed them. You can see that as a very sad thing. So because you are the health workers that they will meet, next slide please. We are here. Why are we here? The World Breastfeeding Week this year is saying prioritize breastfeeding, creating sustainable support system. You are the support system. And I will also look at the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding, and I will give you a take-home message. When you're talking about prioritize breastfeeding, who are those that are stakeholders when it comes to breastfeeding? The very first person that they will meet, you can see it, the mother is very key, because if the mother is not healthy, if the mother is not feeding well, there will be some issue. We are not talking about mother today. You will have the healthcare professional. You are the first point. They are the one that will carry the baby, that will say, mother, the The next ones are the fathers, followed by grandmothers. Those ones are authority. When they say no, it is no. And when they say yes, you are good. Then you have community members. Àǹtí Táyọ̀, ẹ ti bímọ. Omi ọyàn yẹn kò kí n tó fọ́mọ o. But ẹnìkan bá tún dé ta, Àǹtí Táyọ̀ ẹ ti bímọ. Mo ṣe fóṣù mẹ́fà, there is no problem. Community members. Policy makers, the government. The government has given us many policies in Nigeria. Policies to support breastfeeding. In fact, the very last one that they gave us that we are celebrating about is the paternal leave. Paternity leave that men can actually go 14 days to support their breastfeeding. And now, for most government workers, especially the federal government, you have 6 months maternity leave to sustain and support their exclusive breastfeeding. Policies, organizations. Today we'll be branding the school here that to support breastfeeding. That's an organization. Please put your hands together. Employers. If my employer says, no, you can't bring a child to this place, what will I do? But if they create a place, a crèche for me, where I can breastfeed my baby, they give me my support. What about schools? This is one. And the last one, BMS producers. Those are our, let me use the word, they are our friends. They are our friends. God will help us. Those ones are them. But today we are talking about you, a breastfeeding artist. Tell yourself, I am a breastfeeding artist. Yes, that's your commitment. And that is what you will be. If you look at the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding, there are 10. And I'll just rush through these 10 because I'm going to take each of them one after the other. The very first one is to comply with the International Code of Marketing of Breast Milk Substitute. That's the critical management procedure. Apart from every other thing that we'll be doing in the world, there is a management procedure that must take place in any hospital, whether it's the tertiary, the primary, or the secondary. The first one is talking about the code. The next one is talking about breastfeeding policies. The third one is the one is talking about monitoring and data management system. And the second one is talking about sufficient knowledge and competence. Next slide. The third one talks about importance and management of breastfeeding. The fourth one talks about immediate and uninterrupted skin contact. The fifth one talks about support mothers to initiate and maintain breastfeeding. The sixth, do not provide breastfeeding newborns with any food. Number 7, enable mothers and their infants to remain together. Support mothers to recognize and respond to infant kills. Counsel mothers on the use and risk of feeding bottles and coordinate discharge to parents. That's the first thing. Now I'm going to take them one after the other. What is it saying? Next slide. The first one talk about the International Code of Marketing of Breast Milk Substitutes. I talked about the producer the other time. I said they are our friends. I don't want to call them any other thing apart from they are our friends. What is the code? You as a healthcare provider, you need to be knowledgeable about this. There is a law against breast milk substitute. You will never see any advert on television or radio on that infant formula. Have you ever seen any? No producer dares that because there is a law against this. So the breastfeeding code says it's a set of recommendations developed by WHO and UNICEF to regulate the marketing of breast milk substitute, feeding bottles and teeth. You can't sell it anywhere. In fact, they cannot come to you as healthcare provider and start discussing BMS because it's a law. They cannot. Number 3, it aims to protect and promote breastfeeding by ensuring that breast milk substitutes are used safely when needed. It's not every mother that will be able to breastfeed, but almost every mother can do. But for the exceptional, yes, they can do infant formula. So if that child is not exceptional, is not having any medical issue, you as a networker, you're not supposed to recommend BMS. BMS is breast milk substitute. What's the code? No advertising for infant feeding product anywhere within the public service. Nowhere. Not as billboard, not as anything. Producers are not supposed to advertise. 2, no contact between company personnel and pregnant women or mothers. So if in your organization, if any food supplier is coming to advertise and it is allowed and you are reported, your organization will be in trouble. So they must not meet none. Nephew or whoever they are cannot come and speak to mothers. It's not done. there is a law against it. No free sample to health professional or mothers. You are not supposed to collect any free sample from any of them to give any mother. Next slide. No item bearing company logos or public service premises or used by staff, whether it's stationery, it's diary, it's key holders, pens, whatever. Power banks. As health workers, you are not supposed to collect that from any producer. You can see that it's a serious one. That's the law. If you do it, you'll be in problem. Only scientific and factual information free from commercial bias used in the care of babies and their infants is allowed. Science. Scientific knowledge. That's all you can get. So number 2, ensure that staff have sufficient knowledge, competence, and skill to support breastfeeding. We just talk about what breastfeeding is all about. One interesting thing about breastfeeding is that it changes its constituents when we talk about nutrition to meet the need of the child. So if your child is 1 month old, the brain knows that for this breast milk, this child needs so amount of milk, needs so amount of fat, and that milk will be produced for that child. It's a fat formula like that. No, the concept is static. It's just there. Knowledge. You have to be knowledgeable about the code. I'm sure today you know about the code. It's no longer strange to you. Breastfeeding. Everything about breastfeeding. You must be knowledgeable about it. And that is why there must be in-service training and continuous training for healthcare providers. So that they will all be knowledgeable. What about competence and skills? Use listening and learning skill when engaging conversation with the mother. You know we have different types of mother. We have adolescent mothers. We have first-time mothers. We have experienced mothers. You cannot talk to an adolescent mother the way you will talk to an experienced mother. Auntie, ṣé mi mọ́ ní ká gbóyún ni? Ẹgbẹgbẹgbẹ yín wà ní school. Kílẹ̀ yín bá káàkiri ẹ̀rí olóyún ẹyẹ. No. That is what we hear in hospital. From healthcare providers. That is the kind of thing you hear. But for us, the story is going to be different because we are going to support them, we are going to engage them, we are going to empathize with them. Yes, so what can you do to help that child, to help that mother? It's a first-time mother, it's very ignorant. I told you in my experience, the first-time mother, I was so ignorant, I thought, let me just put the baby to breast and breast milk will flow. It's a lie. I need to learn it. But if you don't know it, how do you want to pass it? Use skills to build confidence.